Welcome everyone for today's webinar about the Luxembourgish tax return. At first, let me thank Sympass for having the opportunity to present you everything about taxx.lu and also about the possible deductions that will help you to save on taxes. My name is Malget. I'm one of the founders of taxx. We launched taxx in 2018. And we are helping people to get done their tax return in the most easiest way. So I will avoid at most too technical information, but let's start with taxation in Luxembourg and how it works. So basically there are two steps. On one hand, you have the withholding tax that is done by your employer. So each month your employer is withholding the taxes you have to pay and are paying it to the Luxembourgish state. And on the other hand, at the end of the year, you can do a tax return in order to regularize the withholding taxation of your salaries. So for some, this is mandatory, for others not. So maybe to start with them, with those for whom it's mandatory. So it's you have to do a tax return if you have a taxable income of more than 100K. If you are a non-resident married couple with a fixed rate on your tax card. And also if you have income that is not taxed at source in Luxembourg. For example, if you have an apartment that you are renting out to a third person, then the rental income makes that you have to do a tax return here in Luxembourg. But even if it's not mandatory in your situation, filing a tax return can save you taxes. So maybe good to know that nearly half of all the taxpayers in Luxembourg do not file a tax return, even they could so, and ask for a possible refund. So it's very important to check if a tax return could make sense, even if you are, even if for you it's not mandatory to file one. Just a few examples. So a single with a gross monthly salary of 3,000 euros, if that person has insurances of 672 euros at least per year, maybe a home savings plan and a cleaning company to clean his home, he can do a tax return. It's not mandatory for him, but if he does so, he can get a tax refund of more or less 475 euros. It's the same for a person that started a new job during the day. So, for example, if you have been a student last year and you started new work in July, then basically the withheld taxes on your salaries were too high. And so if you are doing a tax return, even without any deductions, you can get back 1,069 euros of the taxes that have been withheld on your salaries. So it makes absolutely sense for job starters to do a tax return the first year. Another example, a couple with two children, a gross monthly salary of 5,000, another of 3,000. So if you are getting all the possible deductions on your tax return, this couple could claim back 7,474 euros in taxes. So on one hand, it could make sense to do a tax return, and on the other hand, it makes sense to optimize to a maximum your tax situation. So basically, what is tax optimization? Tax optimization means basically that a deduction that you can deduct different expenses on your tax return, and this will allow you to save on taxes. And basically, those tax savings depend mostly on your revenues. So the higher your revenues, the higher also your tax gains. So for example, a single with 3,000 euros gross salary per month could already save 26% of taxes on every deduction. A single with 5,000 euros per month can already save almost 42% of those deductions. So basically, if you are deducting 1,000 euros of on your tax return, a person with 10K per month could save 430 euros thanks to those deductions of 1,000 euros. What are the different options? Basically, you have two big categories on the Luxembourgish tax return. You have the special expenses and the allowances. For the special expenses, there you could, for example, deduct interests you are paying on loans. That could be a mortgage, but that could also be a private loan for a car, for example. You can deduct insurance premiums, private pension plan premiums, and also contributions to home savings plan. We are coming to this in a few minutes with more details. On the other hand, in the category of allowances, the most important, I would say, is the cost you have for childcare or domestic help. We're also coming back to this in a few minutes. So let's start with interest and insurance premiums. Basically, on every deduction on the Luxembourgish tax return, there are maximum caps you can deduct. So for the insurances and the interest expenses on private loans, the maximum deductible limit is 672 euros per family member living in your household. So for example, a couple with 2 kids, they can deduct up to 2,688 euros on their tax return per year. Interests, what interests are deductible? But on one hand, you have consumer loans, for example, the loan you opened up for a car, but also credit card interests are deductible, and overdraft fees on bank accounts. On the insurance side, you have the most common deduction is the car insurance. For the car insurance, only the civil liability part is deductible. So, for example, if you have an insurance for a car that covers also material damage, it's only the civil liability part that is deductible. Normally, it depends on the car. It's something between 300 and 600 euros per car per year. You can also deduct life insurances and private medical insurances. So also deductible, but always up to the maximum of 672 euros per family member in your household. There's one specific insurance, the outstanding balance insurance, which basically covers a mortgage. So an outstanding balance insurance covers the mortgage in case of death. So basically the insurance company is paying back the mortgage to the bank if something would happen to you or your partner. There, normally the insurance company or the bank is offering you 2 types of contracts. On one hand, you have the annual premium. So there you pay each year, you pay a certain amount as long as this insurance is running. And those annual premiums are included in the maximum deductible limit of 672 euros. So if, for example, you have private healthcare insurance, and on top of that, car insurance, quite often you are over the maximum deductible limit already. And if you opt for an annual premium for an outstanding balance insurance, then you cannot get any tax gains out of this insurance. On the other hand, you have the possibility to pay those insurances by single premium. So basically, you pay in one shot for the entire insurance, and there you have higher maximum ceilings. So the maximum deduction in that case is 6,000 euros per person, so 6,000 per adult person. On top of that, 1,200 euros per child, and for each year exceeding 30 years, there will be another 8% added to that maximum deductible limit. So for an example, with a father 40 years, a mother 38 years with 2 kids, they can deduct almost 25,000 euros during that year where they paid for that single premium. At the end, thanks to that deduction of 25K, they can save 10,432 euros in taxes. So at the end, the insurance you paid, in this example, it's an insurance that covers 600,000 euros of mortgage. You paid, for example, 25,000 euros, the tax gain 10,400. So at the end, that insurance only cost you 14,528 euros. Another important information is that those single premiums can be deducted every 5 years, which basically means that if you buy today a house of 1 million euros, you could cover it right now. You could cover 600K of that mortgage by paying those 25,000 euros. And 5 years later, if you want to cover the rest of the mortgage, you could sign up for a second outstanding balance insurance, pay it by single premium, and you can again deduct the higher maximum deductible limit. Other possibility of deduction is the private pension plan. Basically, private pension plan allows you to deduct up to 3,200 euros per person, per adult person in the household. So basically, it's 3,200 for the, in this example, for the father, 3,200 for the mother. The kids don't have no impact on this maximum deduction. So in total, this family could deduct 6,400 euros. And if this family has a taxable income of 100K, then the tax savings would be 2,670 euros each year. Those plans are made to prepare for retirement. So basically, there are two conditions, two main conditions. First is every investment you are doing into those plans are only accessible at the age of 60. So only at the age of 60 you can access the money that you have invested into that plan. And there's a second condition, the contract has to run for at least 10 years. So for example, a person that's subscribed to such a plan at the age of 55 only can access the money at the age of 65. And normally those pension plans, you have two possibilities. The first would be the option, let's call it performance, where your investments are going to be put into investment funds. So you have also return on invest out of the evolution of that fund. And the second option you have, that's a formula with guaranteed savings. So basically, you are sure to receive at the age of 60 at least a certain amount of money. So one is more secured, the other one is more. The goal is more to have a better return on invest. Let's have a small example. Here it's the example with an investment into funds. If you invest each month 266 euros, which is the maximum deductible limit of 3,200 per year, let's assume you have an average return on invest each year of 3% out of the performance of the fund. Then after 20 years, you will receive the amount of 84,000 euros. Your total investment over 20 years has been 64,000, and thanks to the tax gains, Luxembourg state reimbursed you quite off as 27,000 euros. So at the end, you have two times a return on invest. On one hand, you have the tax gains, and on the other hand, you have the evolution of the fund itself that allows you to increase your capital. Starting from today, there's a new special for Sympass members. So if you subscribe to a pension plan with tax.lu, then you can get back the first months of your investment. So basically, if you subscribe a private pension plan of 200 euros per month, then TaxX will reimburse you those 200 euros that you invested the first months. More information about that in a few days on the Sympass platform. Next category of deduction on the Luxembourg tax return, cleaning and childcare expenses. So there you can, on one hand, deduct cleaning expenses for your home. That could be cleaning staff that you hired, or that could also be a cleaning company that is doing the work at your home. On the other hand, you have childcare expenses. So for example, if you have kids going to a crèche or maison relais, those expenses are also deductible on the Luxembourgish tax return. Basically, the maximum per household is 5,400 euros. So in our example, with 2 parents, 2 kids, it's 5,400, and this couple could save each year 2,251 euros in taxes. What are the advantages of a home savings plan? A home savings plan, basically, it works like a savings account. It's like a savings account where you can put money on. The money will be blocked for 10 years, and after 10 years, you can get the money out. And at that moment, you have to use it for your home. So you can use it for new acquisition. You can use it for a construction. You can use it for renovation, if at that moment you are owning your home already. Or you can also use it to pay back on your mortgage. That allows you to decrease your monthly reimbursements to the bank. There's one additional benefit. If you can prove that you paid into a home savings plan for at least 3 years, then the Luxembourg state can give a guarantee of a certain amount for your mortgage. So this helps you to have easier access to a mortgage with your bank. Here, as in all the different categories of deductions, there's a maximum limit. This maximum limit is 672 euros per family member in the household. And if the parents are younger than 41 years, this amount is doubled. So in this example, a father 40 years, a mother 38 with 2 kids, they could deduct each year 5,376 euros on the tax return and save around 2,250 euros in taxes. If you send up for a mortgage to finance your home, the interests on that mortgage are also deductible. And there's a difference between the period before moving in and after moving in. So during the construction, for example, there's no cap, so there's no maximum deductible limit. You can deduct all the interest you paid on that mortgage. It's also the case, it's not only for construction, but it's also the case, for example, you are buying an apartment, you are doing some renovations, it takes a few months, then you can deduct for that period without any cap the interest you paid on your mortgage. After moving in, the first 5 years, you can deduct 2,000 euros per household member. After 5 years, between 5 and 10, you can deduct 1,500 per household member. And after 10 years, it's 1,000 euros per household member. So in our example, with a couple moving in 2020, they could deduct 8,000 euros on their tax return and save 3,336 euros in taxes. So how to file your tax return in Luxembourg? At first, what you need are certificates of your income, but also certificates of the different deductions you want to deduct on the tax return. Salary certificate, you are getting it from your employer. Normally, it comes with your salary slip from January, February, March. So basically, it's a salary certificate about all your income for the last year. That one you need it for your tax return. Regarding deductions, you need certificates from your insurance company, from your bank, from your home savings bank, and there normally all the Luxembourgish banks, at least, and the Luxembourgish insurance companies, they will send you automatically those certificates at the beginning of the year. If they don't send it to you by email, you can access normally their platforms, web banking, or the platforms of the insurance company, and there you will find it and you can download it and you can add it to your tax return. So it's the same for interest expenses. So just log in into your web banking and there you will find those certificates, can download them, and you can use them for the deductions on your tax return. For cross-border workers, frontalier, in Luxembourg, Luxembourgish banks, insurance companies, they are providing you those certificates automatically. For cross-border workers, if you are a customer at a French insurance company, for example, normally you have to ask them. Don't add entire contracts to the tax return. That makes no sense. Ask them for certificate. So normally they know exactly, if you are living around Luxembourg, they know exactly what you need and they will provide you with the right certificate. Other certificates, we did not talk about donations, but basically donations to NGOs are also deductible. They are normally, a Luxembourgish NGO is sending you automatically those certificates when you have done a donation. In total, in order to deduct it, you have to have done a donation of at least 120 euros per year, so you can deduct it. Crèche, Maison Relais, it depends on the crèche and the Maison Relais. Most of them send you automatically those certificates. If not, ask them. They know exactly what you need and they will provide you with that. The same for if you hire the cleaning person at home, you registered that person at CCSS, and CCSS will send you in January, February a certificate you can use for your tax return. And if you hire the cleaning company for your home cleaning, then most of those companies also send you automatically a certificate. And if not, you can ask them and they will send you one. They know exactly what you need. So the tax return itself, how to file it, but basically you could download the 20-page PDF and file it and complete it on your own. You have to do a few calculations. It's quite complicated, and that's why in 2018 we launched taxx.lu, which is an online service. So basically you enter all your data on taxx.lu, and at the end you can download the official tax return form, and you can submit it to tax administration. So I will give you a quick overview about how it's done on taxx. So you just need to create an account, and once created the account, you have different possibilities. So if you have been already a customer last year on taxx, you can just copy your tax return from last year. So the system will copy paste all the information that normally does not change, name, birth date, name of the kids and everything into the new tax return. That avoids you to have to do this each year. If it's the first time you are on taxx, you have two possibilities. Or you are starting an empty tax return and you're adding all the information at least at the first time. Next year you can do a copy. Or if you have last year filed the official PDF, so yeah, the 20-page PDF, you can also import that document, and the system will extract all the information that will be copy-pasted into the new tax return. So right now I would just copy a tax return from last year, and there you see on the left there are different forms, and those forms are based on your situation. So basically, if you don't have, I don't know, if you don't have rental income because you have no apartment that you are giving to rent, then the system will not ask you anything about this. So it's only the forms that concern you in your personal situation. Afterwards, you just need to save and continue on every step, so you won't miss anything. So here is the data that has been copied from last year. Tax situation, you just check your situation. So basically, if what is the situation of your household, you receive the salary, you have kids, and maybe you are an owner of your own home. So you just check those boxes, and on the next steps, you won't miss anything. You save and continue, and there you will arrive on what we call AutoScan. AutoScan basically is an automatic importer of your certificates. So let's assume you have gotten a certificate from your employer by your salary certificate from last year. I have one here as a PDF. You can just upload that PDF. And what the system will do, it will automatically recognize what type of document it is, and it will extract the data out of that document. So you don't need to manually copy paste all those information into your tax return. So here it says import successful. The system recognized that it's a salary. The system recognized the amounts that are on that payslip, and those amounts will automatically be imported into your tax return. That's one possibility. So if you have a PDF from your bank, from your insurance company, from your employer, you can upload a PDF. If you have gotten a certificate on paper, then you can download our app, taxx.lu Scanner. It's free on App Store and Google Play. And once you are opening that scanner, it will ask you to scan a QR code. That QR code, you see it here on taxx. It's basically to inform the app in what tax return you are in right now and where your data has to be sent to. So you just scan the QR code, and then you have two possibilities. If you have a file, a PDF saved in your then you can upload it here. Or if you have a paper certificate, you just click on take a picture. You hold the certificate over the phone, over the certificate. You're waiting a few seconds, and automatically the system will recognize the document, and it will be uploaded on taxx. You see here, congratulations, you have imported the certificate. You also see it here. So there the system will recognize the type of document, and it will extract the data that you need for your tax return. So here you find the document we just scanned. It's a home savings plan from Schwäbisch Hall, and the import has been successful, which means basically that all the data that is needed for the tax return is automatically put into your tax return. We will see it in a few minutes. There are two other possible messages here. So for example, if you are scanning a bank statement for a loan, on those statements in Luxembourg, it's not mentioned if it's a personal loan for a car or if it's a loan, a mortgage for your home. So there you have to tell the system, okay, this loan is for my car, this loan is for my home, and the system will automatically put the right numbers on the right spot. Third possibility, that is when the import is not successful. Basically, the system did not recognize the document, and then the system tells you, okay, this document, we cannot recognize it, we cannot import it automatically, just add it on the next steps. So basically you are continuing, and then you are adding it on the right spot, and you are just copy pasting the numbers. This is especially the case for certificates from cross-border workers. So if you have gotten a certificate from a French insurance company that is not in our system, no worries, you can just add it manually. But it works perfectly for all the Luxembourg certificates from all the insurance companies, all the banks in Luxembourg, for the home savings plan, and so on. Once done that, you just save and continue. Next step is the salary form. So there you will see we can find the salary certificate we just uploaded, and all the data on that certificate is already in the form. So the system has recognized the amounts and put them automatically into the tax return. You see here a red dot. Basically, this means that on this form there's something missing. So basically here, what is missing is the municipality of the place of work, which is not always on the salary certificate. You just add it, you save, and you will see that the red dot disappears. So everything is fine. So then you just save and continue. I will go straight into special expenses. We uploaded this document a few minutes ago about the home savings plan, and there you see there's a document. There's the house savings by the bank where the home savings plan is running. You have the amount that is deductible on your tax return, and you have also the beginning of the contract, because this is also asked on the tax return. So basically, that document you don't need to do any manual entry on TaxX. Here you see other red dots. For example, on the other, your bank account is missing. Bank account is very important if you are getting money back, so taxes back from tax administration. They need that account number. So thanks to that red dot, you don't miss to add it to your tax return. On quite the last step, you are on auto check, and auto check basically does some logical tests on your tax return. So it checks if everything makes sense, and if not, you have different information. Here, for example, it tells you that the file number you added, the file number from tax administration, it does not seem to be the right one. So you can change it. You can see that the bank account is missing. We just talked about that. And it tells you also that they're missing attachments. So basically, there are deductions on your tax return where there is no certificate. However, tax administration needs a certificate for all your deductions. So there you can add it later on. On the last page, the system will calculate automatically the tax refund you can get back, or the taxes you have to pay, depending on your situation. And up to then, it's interesting for them to file a tax return or not. So they can do a free simulation. If here at the end they see that they can get back, I don't know, 200, 300, 400 euros in taxes, but do a tax return. Even if it's not mandatory, don't offer that money to the state. You can ask it back. How to do so? But on TaxX, we have 3 different packages. So for 50 euros only, you can download the official tax form, the official tax return, which is completed with data that you have entered on TaxX. And you can also download one PDF with all the annexes, with all the certificates you uploaded. And if TaxX has done some calculations, because on some forms in the official tax form, there are calculations that has to be done, pro rata calculations or things like that, then in the annexes in the same PDF, you find also the details about that calculations, so that tax administration can understand better where these amounts are coming from. Starting from this year, we also have the package plus. So for 30 euros more, you can ask our team to check your tax return manually. So our team of tax experts will analyze your tax return. If they see errors or if they think that there are deductions missing, they will come back to you, and so you are sure that your tax return is everything is correct, and you are fully deducting everything you can. And on top of that, we are also offering the possibility to verify the tax statement you are getting back from tax administration. Sometimes they are doing errors, and if so, we can also help you with a letter for reconsideration to ask them to reconsider your tax return, because maybe they missed a kit, maybe they missed some a deduction or whatever. We're helping you with that. We have also the possibility, we are also offering a premium, it's 120 euros. And there, on top of everything, you can also schedule a call with one of our experts, having a call about your tax situation. Maybe, I don't know, you are marrying next year and you have questions about that. There you can book a call, and they will help you to better understand about your situation. During the entire process, you also have the possibility to contact our team. So on the bottom right of the page, there's a pink dot. Clicking on it, there's a chat opening, and there you can ask all your questions to our tax experts. And on each form, you find also FAQs. So basically, you find the most common questions our users have about the form you are on right now. After downloading the tax return, you also have access to an analysis of your tax optimization potential. So in this example, this taxpayer could save 5,300 euros more in taxes, and the system will tell you how to do so. So what we will show is what we call an Opti score. An Opti score, it's a number from 0 to 100. If it's 0, that means basically that you did not deduct anything on your tax return. If it's 100, you are at all your maximum deductible limits for each category. You will find there a video, a short video about 2 minutes about tax optimization, and you find the details of different possibilities you have. For example, in a private pension plan, this user could save almost 2,000 euros more per year. You can click on the call to action, and there you can have more information. What is the product? How does it work? You have a small video of 2 minutes explaining what a private pension plan in Luxembourg is. And you also have a simulator. So for example, this person could deduct another 391 euros per month. That could be a lot of money. So if you want to know what is your impact, what are your tax savings with an invest of 100 euros a month, you have here the simulator, and in this situation, he could save with an invest of 100 euros a month, he could save 501 euros per year. If you want to subscribe to such a plan on TaxX, you can do right away. You can do it online here, or what you can also do is ask for a free call. It's about 15 minutes, 15 minutes, where we are going through your options, and we can explain you what makes sense in your situation. And if you want to subscribe, we are partner of all of an insurance company, of a home savings bank, so we can put in place those contracts for you. No need to go anywhere. You can do it here online with us. Okay, that's all about TaxX. As a member of Sympass, you have a discount available. In order to get this discount, which is basically 12 euros, so you save a normal tax return, as we discussed, is 50 euros. You can save 12 euros thanks to your membership at Sympass. Just log in on your Sympass, on the Sympass platform, and there in the menu, under your services, you find the link to tax declaration, and there you have two possibilities. If you don't have an account at TaxX, you can click this button, and when you are creating a new account, this discount of Sympass will automatically apply to your next tax return you are filing on TaxX. If you are already a TaxX customer, then you click on the other button, and automatically that coupon, that discount will apply on your on the next tax return you are doing on our platform. So if you have a question regarding your taxation, just contact us on help@taxx.lu or use the chat on TaxX. And if already now you know that you want to know more about your personal tax optimization potential, then you can scan that QR code, and you will be on a digital agenda where you can book a date and a time, and we are calling you, and in a free 10 to 15 minutes call, we can analyze your options, and you can subscribe directly with the person that is on the phone if one or the other option would interest you. That's all for me. I may have forgotten to tell you there is no possibility in this webinar to ask you questions because you are too many, but don't hesitate to contact our team on help@taxx.lu or by chat, and we can help you with your tax return. Enjoy your day, enjoy the sun, and enjoy the 2022 tax return. Have a nice day, and thanks again to Sympass for giving me the opportunity to explain you everything about taxation here in Luxembourg. Thank you.